Hi, my name is Cho Lin Moy, and I'm from New York City. I have a company, a practice called Integrative Healing Arts, and I'm an acupuncturist and practitioner of Chinese medicine, and I help people to find what their optimal health potential is through the practice of Chinese medicine. So my experience, is kind of, I looked at the polls and I was like, oh, it's not that high. It didn't seem so high. And, kind of like, oh, I could do it, And then when I got up there, it was really terrifying, suddenly, the flood of, what am I going to do? I can't get down. And it was that at that moment, there's like a shift that just had to move forward and go, even though you were scared or you had that feeling of really terror, and that I could do it, and it was okay, and it wasn't really. I mean, it was definitely dangerous, 30 feet in the air. I was on a harness, and at the same time, that it reflects something in life. You're afraid to move forward and you think that you're going to fall down and don't necessarily recognize that you have that support, and even if you did, it would be okay. And so that was very exciting to actually do it. The most exciting part was coming down. Well, I have to say I loved the exercises that Scott had us do in the beginning, really working on being in our bodies as as the challenge of doing some of those movements, just that to be, to execute and to do what it is you want to do, you really have to be, and not necessarily just focused, but really be in your body and act as one. So the challenge was really, working together, being willing to lead and also being willing to follow and support each other. And, if we're usually in our own bubble and don't think about other people or how we interact or part of a community, it wouldn't have worked. And so, because we had that camaraderie and I'd say kind of a oneness and a togetherness, even from the very beginning with our group, when Ava said, let's all ground together, and then we had all decided on what our mission would be, and that we were gonna, at each level, that we would reassess, and if that changed, it would be okay. So that, I think, made everybody felt safe and determined and really connected as a group that we were going to do it. I was always interested in health and massage, and I went back to school, and while I was in school for massage therapy, I realized that that was not going to be enough for me, and then started on that journey with Chinese medicine, with acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Being a practitioner, you had to transform yourself, how you view the world, and also you help other people to shift the model of medicine that they're in, and to help them to explore that there's something bigger, something greater, and that they have choices. So what I love about what I do, the work I do, is that when someone comes to me, they usually show up because they've tried everything else, and I'm really like the last hope. They're kind of desperate, and I am able to help them to heal themselves, really to tap into what is that energy that allows people to heal. And when they're not connected to it, they don't heal. And usually it's a sign of, sickness is that they're very disconnected from their body. And it may sound very esoteric, but it's really with anything that someone wants to accomplish, whether it's, walk upstairs or run a business, that they need to be in alignment with their mind and their body, which is basically the same thing for me. So not separate. And we tend to think of it in terms of separate parts. And the more that we think of it, we actually pull ourselves apart, and that becomes the struggle. So that's philosophical, but in fact, that is what happens. I, help a lot of women that struggle with fertility on their own to get pregnant with their spouse or partner, and that is like incredible when it happens, and it does happen. It's something that's miraculous. I work with some professional athletes, and their interest is to have like the optimal health. The acupuncture and the Chinese medicine is a way for them to connect with their body and to heal and to increase their performance. And as an acupuncturist, I'm actually a facilitator and a conduit for chi to flow and connect to life and nature and all that is. And that is powerful medicine. So an example of this is, oftentimes when people come to see me, they have tried everything. And they really show up hopeless, despair. They're told, we can't do anything, or you have to live with it. And I know a lot of people may have heard that or experienced that. And so, for instance, I had a woman who was 36, and she came to see me. She had gone through many, many fertility treatments, and basically they said, well, the problem is your eggs are no good. You probably are not going to have children. And even said to her, maybe you're just not meant to have children. I say, do not listen to what they're telling you. It's not true, and if there is a God, they are not it. And so you need to remember that they are, they're looking at from what they can't solve that problem, and they don't have that explanation, and so that doesn't make it true. It's a truth, but it's not your truth.